checking back in the bulk bee split yard I made up. Not very big, 25 colonies. That's all the boxes we had at that time. So I bought 25 queens. And I took the bees off the first yard of second pull. I just put the boxes out, bees went up in the boxes, stripped the boxes off. So they're bringing in a little bit of nectar. We have a very mild flow going on right now. They're not plugging out. And a little bit of pollen coming in. Really nice bee building weather. So these queens have been out of the cages for roughly, I'd say 4 days. So I'm not going to go through them, but I just want to spot check to see how things are. Are they plugging out? Has she been accepted? Is she laying? I checked through that colony over there and she had just started laying. The nest was full of honey, nectar, but not plugging out. So she was laying and she's going to push that nest back. I might, if this flow continues on and they don't push it back, I might pull a frame of honey out or 2 frames of honey and drop 2 empties in the center just to give the queen more space, because a frame like this is winter feed. They can't do anything with that other than just leave it for reserve. So I have to make sure that she has at least 4 frames of brood laid in here. So I have to make sure she has that space. If I put these down into a flow and they plug themselves out like this one almost looks like it has, then they can't do anything with all that honey. Yeah, so that frame is plugged. Mostly incoming nectar. And here's a frame of eggs, but rimmed with honey. We're gonna have to give these colonies some space. This side's plugged out with honey. So this is why the spot check is so important, to make sure you know exactly what's going on. And this frame is laid out here. This is a North Star queen. It's a little beauty. Black. She's that laid out. So she's pushing as hard as she can. A box up on top would help relieve some of this congestion, but we're about to go into a dearth, so 2 frames of space will be perfect. On to the second set of 500 colonies. The first 500 of second pull is in the honey house. Going to be extracted. The guys are busy. And I have 2 trucks going today to set 500 colonies to bring in this week. We are taping up the corners because there's a little bit of robbing going on. That's fine. Oh, I'll look after that. So the boxes are coming in nice and heavy. Spread out over 4, so it's nice and easy to extract. On my spot check yesterday, I was having trouble determining how much flow was coming in because we have alfalfa out there, we still have some canola, clover still blooming, we have pockets of sunflower ending off, and we have areas with buckwheat. So I decided I'm going to put another box back. It's going to help clear the boxes anyways, so there you go. Made my mind up. Just add a little bit extra work. But as you can see, we have some robbing going on. This is first thing in the morning. Once the flowers kick in, hopefully the attention is drawn away. This is telling me I'm probably wasting my time putting boxes back. But it's going to help clear the bees out of the boxes through the escapes because it gives them more space. it will provide me the instant, like I'll instantly know when we come back to pull this honey off what type of flow is going on. If there's flow from this alfalfa, then they have space for it, we'll leave them. If there's no flow, we'll strip them off. Oop, let's space out just a bit. We'll strip them off and get some medication going on. So that's my plan, and I'm gonna stick to it. I wish somebody could tell me what to do, but I gotta figure this shit out. First yard, we're gonna get, next one, we're gonna get 3 yards done before the morning's done, and then put in the rest of the day. Get our 7 yards set, maybe 8, depending on how the other truck does through the day. Things are well. Things are very well. I had the bees this year. I had the crew this year. I have the facility. All I needed was the weather to cooperate. And the weather has been challenging at most times throughout the year, but things seem to have lined up to give me a decent crop this year. I mean, that elusive bumper crop, I missed that just by some early weather dynamics and the crop shutting down, but I've been able to tap into a later flow here in through August, and it's brought me the luxury of not experiencing robbing yet this year. Well, there is robbing going on. We've seen some going on yesterday, the August 20th. We dug down into a yard to do something, and that yard got punished by robber bees. The colonies were able to sort it out, but I was like, oh, I got to pull away from all brood work now. But we're not seeing that intense pressure against the honey house as we typically do. Just little bits of it. And I'm going out to the yards. I'm so frustrated. You know, it's a double-edged sword. Going out to the yards and literally shaking nectar from the frames. Honey flow nectar from the frames. It is quite amazing. These bees are bringing in nectar from the ditch. Alfalfa in the ditch. That's the only place it could be coming from, other than, well, the sunflowers are pretty much done. The canola, the late canola is pretty much done. We just have drags all over the place, which has bought me this nice extended flow. These colonies are setting themselves up masterfully. I have pollen coming in still. I mean, this is very foreign to me. Typically it's second week of August. We are in extreme dearth, and I'm like halfway through a semi-load of syrup already, pounding the protein to them just to try to keep that queen going, working as hard as we can to hold that nest together. But this year, with the flow, it's so much easier with the flow. These nests are lush and they're growing. I mean, I have 2 semi-loads of syrup I bought, and I'm thinking I'm going to probably have to keep one over till spring. I made all these patties. I had the guys mix all these patties up. I bought a pallet load of supplement. And I'm thinking I'm just going to put that in the corner and save my money, use it next year, because all this pollen coming in. Beautiful nests. And that second, well, we went around yesterday just to knock off the seconds to get the medication done, because we are getting late. I'm putting the strips in, and when I count my days, if I put the strips in this week or next week, we're looking at middle of October before we pull them out. So time's a ticking, but those boxes are filling. Those frames are shaking. and not a lot, just very mild. So I got caught in this loop of making a decision. Do I leave them on? Do I take them off? And I wasted the whole day just trying to make my mind up as I was driving around to the yards, poking around to see what type of flow was coming in. Because one thing is, I don't want to plug these nests out if there's a big flow coming in. I want to capture that honey for one thing to take away, but I don't want to plug the nest out to compromise that winter nest. That's my biggest concern. But on the other hand, I have my crew leaving the end of next week, the majority of them. I need to get my work done. I need to get these treatments in. I need to prepare, all this fall work I have to get done, so I have to forge ahead. I have to push ahead. And that means knocking those boxes off, getting the medication in now when I have the manpower, so I'm not pulling strips out in November. I mean, that's what needs to be done. So, just kind of poking around, and I've determined that the bees over the last 10 days or so in that first set, they've probably pulled in 10 pounds, 15 pounds. The most was 20 pounds. That's okay, there we go. And that flow coming in right now is merely just a trickle. And that might as well go down to the basement. So I'm just going to knock the boxes off. I made my decision. I'm not going to go after that late, slow flow. It's going to take me well into September here. Except for there's fields around alfalfa they've got to stay. They got to have boxes on them. Anything around sunflowers is done. So I'm going to knock the boxes off. I'm going to make use of all my manpower, get these treatments in, and wrap that season up. Tomorrow we start bringing in that second set. So it'll be a couple thousand boxes come in Thursday, Friday, as long as the weather cooperates. And then we have another 500 colonies, which includes nukes. So we should be able to get those set and pulled in. There'd be another couple thousand boxes come in before my crew leaves. And if I do things properly, I should be able to have all my colonies treated, pulled in before they leave. And then it's just figuring out when to start feeding them. This is the beginning of the end. We are knocking off the last of the boxes. Over the last 10 days or so, we have a box full of honey. A pleasant surprise. So we're knocking these boxes off to get our work done in good time. We still have a bit of a flow, but I'm anticipating that it's coming to the end. And I have to manage my manpower over my workload before they all bugger off to school on me. Got some alfalfa, late canola, and just the drags around the corners. So we're going to the apivar. We're giving them 2 pounds of patty. They really don't need it because they have so much pollen coming in. But they're getting a couple pounds anyways, and oxytetracycline as we get back into that habit. Oh, the fun of it, blowing bees. A bunch of guys knock the boxes off, bee blowers, robbing. If I had a few hundred extra escapes, I'd just be putting these back up on top and coming back in a couple of days to strip off these boxes, bee free. But we are going to have so much fun blowing bees. It'll help reinforce the ease of the skateboards anyways. Got that yard knocked off, and it's turning into a frenzy. It's making me appreciate my skateboards. Oh, my aching back, because now I have to blow these out and lift them onto the truck. A little bit of honey in this yard. I'm seeing the bird chambering a little bit lighter, so we'll have to bring back some syrup. I lost one of my guys to a combine this afternoon, and I sent Carrie a different direction for a couple hours. So it's taking just a little bit longer. We can get in and we can get out in about half an hour. There's only one box to knock off each colony, so it doesn't take us long. Pretty much clearing within about 15-20 minutes. They're about easy to blow when they start doing that. So one of my strategies to assess colonies as I'm knocking off the last little boxes, what to determine as viable and non-viable. So what I do is I take advantage of all the bees in the top boxes and I peer down between the frames. If I see brood, it's good to go. Feed and medicate. If I don't see brood, I'll pull up a frame. Could be a queen just starting up. A lot of time there is just queens. I'm seeing a lot of turnover, a lot of fresh queens going to be sent into this winter. It's going to be very nice. So we put them in, but anything we don't see any eggs, we mark a tag on top. Like that. And we'll come back when we have a chance to assess and shake them out if they're dead, or maybe they've taken to a queen. We'll see. But we're too busy right now to bother with that. So we just tag them. So I better get out the blower, get these bees, get these boxes blown out, and on the truck and out of here before they find us. Driver. Wow, this is a heck of a crop.
This is actually the lighter stuff.
Wow. Look at the straw. Boy, he's doing a good job.
Yeah, Uncle Andre's going to get a lot of meals off this.
So, Grandpa trained you, obviously.
Yeah. He left
What's it testing, did they say?
16 something.
Okay. Wow. Beautiful evening. It's a start. Any problems?
Nope.
How long have you been by yourself?
Grandpa left probably a little bit after 5.
I have a hard time getting you back into the honey house.
Okay, this is easy work.